My name is Heather. I grew up in a small village close to the boundary between France and Germany. Our favorite place to play was in a ruined medieval castle on a hill above the village. Starting out as we did made history a big part of my daily life, with art and books running close behind. In some ways, our life was like a fairy tale. We were exposed to many languages, beliefs, and ideas. My parents loved history. It was very much a central narrative of my childhood. We learned about the heroes and villains that once populated the places we visited. My travels and my parents taught me that acts of tremendous courage are required of people who want to secure a better world. I believe that teaching is an act of courage. I've never made a video before, and I'm taking this class to get some credits required to renew my teaching license. I've never taken an undergraduate teaching class, which tells you that I didn't plan on becoming a teacher. I wanted to be an astronaut when I was in elementary school. I wanted to be an Olympic swimmer in middle school. In high school, I was set on being a doctor. Then I went to Willamette and discovered that the reason I did so well in lab and anatomy was because I'm a visual learner. That meant that I was really good at art history, which is almost purely based on visual memory. Turns out, I'm a decent writer too. The highlight of my time at Willamette was when I studied in Italy, where I got to see and write about some of the most amazing art ever created. After Willamette, I went to graduate school at the University of Washington, where I completed a degree in museum studies. I fell in love with a wonderful man from Salem. We returned to Salem to raise my stepdaughter, and since Salem isn't a bustling hub of museums like Seattle, I returned to school, this time to become a teacher through George Fox's master's program. I have to say, grad school is a lot of work, but it's a valuable time. You get to focus on a subject area that you're passionate about. My stepdaughter is now a beautiful young woman who is in college. My son is in 4th grade. He plays the violin, and he likes to invent all kinds of things. My daughter is a 1st grader. She is an artist and has recently discovered how much fun writing poetry is. My children are the greatest gift life has given me. I write every day. I'm blessed to have writing friends from the Oregon Writing Project who are inspiring and dedicated teacher writers themselves. Someday, I'm going to publish a book for children. It will be about unexpected beauty. There will be a lot of hope in it too, and hopefully some hidden treasure and a couple of decent jokes. It's been 12 years since my first teaching job. Mostly I've taught middle school and high school, but after 8 years full-time with high schoolers, I knew I needed a change, so I recently accepted a position at Salem Academy where I am the academic support specialist. It's an amazing job. I get to work with students who struggle with reading, writing, and math. I work mostly with kindergarten through 3rd graders because it's my position and the position of the school that students who struggle in critical subject areas benefit from early and frequent intervention. I love going to work. It's an honor to help children learn, and it's also a tremendous joy. There are a couple of things no one taught me in my ed program that I want to share. One is to avoid the faculty lunchroom. Not to say that you should work during lunch, because working through lunch causes high blood pressure and early gray hair. I swear it. In many schools, the faculty lunchroom is where plots are hatched, petty rivalries are nurtured, and negativity flourishes. I don't eat there, which brings me to one of my loves. There are few things on earth that rival taking a piece of fresh fruit and going out for a walk during lunch. For me, it keeps me sane. I get vitamin D, quiet, and time to reflect, all in 27 minutes. Another thing is that you have to be yourself. Students, especially children, can smell insincerity and falsehood from more than a mile away. The secret to being loved by your students is to be real, just like the bunny and the Velveteen Rabbit. Do them and yourself a favor. Admit mistakes, admit boredom, admit difficulty. Then everyone gets to learn together. This is actually hard to do, as our society really values the hundreds of lies that adults routinely tell. Keep things sincere. You don't have to be mean. Negativity prevents learning. You can encourage growth in positive ways. Remind students of their strengths, their past successes. I see you're really good at blank is one of the most powerful tools you have. Walk the walk. The payoff is that by the middle of October, they'll know on some level that they can trust you when they most need your help. Beyond that, I guess my philosophy is that teachers have to be learning, just like their students, every single day. A day when I don't learn something from my students is utterly wasted. Too many of those days, and everyone in my classroom is going to be angry and bored. The single greatest attribute of a successful learner, whether a teacher or a student, is an imagination. Imagination is the genesis of all advancement in medicine, science, arts, and technology. The geniuses we hold up as pinnacles of human achievement knew this secret. It takes an imagination to be Buzz Aldrin and look at the moon and say, I want to go there, or to be Bill Gates and look at the way a computer works and say, there's a different way to do this, or to be Mother Teresa and say, I can imagine helping these people. A real learner, a real leader, looks at what is and says, I can imagine something else, something better. As a teacher, I must help my students learn to use their knowledge and skills to create more solutions, to imagine options that haven't been seen yet. Part of cultivating an imagination is building an environment that encourages and rewards questions. In my classroom, students get just as many points for asking a good question as they do for knowing facts. What if is a question that should be at the center of classroom dialogue. What if Atticus hadn't defended Tom? What if Gatsby had gotten over Daisy? What if Hamlet just gave up the throne of Denmark? Questions build not only knowledge, but an understanding of the actions and motives of others. Questions give students possibilities. Another word for possibilities is options. Options give people strength. Possibility prevents fear. Literacy, meaning reading, writing, speaking, and listening, are essential skills for all students. Everyone has to communicate effectively in multiple formats. The technological advances we have made mean that communication is a large percentage of our day. Emails, texts, phone calls, viewing, video, and audio presentations all demand a high level of literacy. All my classes are centered around the meaningful acquisition of these skills. I stress meaningful, because students are far more successful when their work has personal meaning for them. I believe students get a voice in the learning process. In my classroom, students have the option to change assignment topics and assignment outcomes as long as the integrity of the assignment is maintained. This has a lot to do with my belief that everyone learns differently. In my classroom, everyone has a role and a valuable skill. I make this very public. I say, you might want to ask Rosa about that. She's an expert on the characteristics of animals. Jessie is our illustrator. What do you envision here, Jessie? Technology is hugely important to imagination and to formulating questions. The web provides us with the means to explore questions from a myriad of perspectives. This is how we build global awareness in our students. Technology, all of it, is a visible manifestation of another person's imagination. Students love to use technology because utilization of technology is a creative act. One piece of technology I use in a classroom is Kindle readers. A student can literally access hundreds of books instantly. Using a document camera, all students can admire and discuss a common text. I often have students put their notebooks under the document cam so they can share the results of their web research with their classmates. Technology gives us the tools that help possibility enter the classroom.